Hey Spuddies, PotatoMcWhiskey here and welcome to Let's Play Civilization 6. As we all know, Civilization 6 is a moderately well-balanced game, and so today we're going to be trying to win with a cheeky little strategy that I like to call the Improvement Only Challenge. The rules are that I can build no districts, no wonders, I can't buy great works, I can't declare any wars, and I can only defend myself if I'm attacked. I'm not allowed to pillage, I can't use cultists, I can't use naturalists, I can't use rock bands, and I have to try to win a culture victory relying entirely on unique improvements from city-states and my civilization. Deity difficulty, 14 city-states, Highlands map, small size, standard everything else, except for 14 hand-picked city-states that give unique improvements. And finally, we also have Heroes and Legends and the Secret Societies mode. This is a very nice starting location. Look at all of these chops that we have available and these incredibly powerful hills. The little bit of maze is quite nice because we'll be able to harvest that later for extra gold. Now, if I were playing a normal civilization, I would be super tempted to move off into the maze. And in fact, there definitely doesn't exist my first attempt at this particular start location where I accidentally moved to the maze and played about 20 turns before I realized that the entire point of the Ethiopian civilization is to settle on hills. That's so you get your faith converted into culture and science at a rate of 15%. I definitely didn't make that mistake, and no footage of it exists anywhere. Listen, if you don't have the evidence, it never happened. Anyway, we're going to settle in place, because of course we are, and we're going to immediately start building scouts. Now, the most important tech in the game for us is flight, because that's going to give us tourism on all of our improvements that provide culture, but that's also true for a lot of the city-state unique improvements, as well as Ethiopia's own rock-hewn church, which will convert faith at a rate of 1-to-1 into tourism. It also gives us extra appeal, which we'll talk about that when we're going for our pantheon. We have discovered a Beowulf as well as the Elves of Minerva, all thanks to finding Valletta. Valletta are going to be super helpful this game because they're going to allow us to purchase city center buildings, in particular walls, which will give us extra tourism. Because remember, we're trying to win a tourism game by building only improvements. And I think walls are like a very slight little exception that we'll allow. So it would be nice to have suzerainty of Valletta so that we can get those. Found our very first tribal village and yoink, +1 population. Not amazing, but I'll accept it because it's going to boost our production by working this marble. Let's plug in Survey for the extra experience on our recon units, as well as God King for the extra gold and faith, because I really want an early pantheon this game. Let's also meet another city-state, and it's actually Rapa Nui. Rapa Nui are really helpful because they give us the Moai, and they give us a ton of culture, as well as convert that culture into tourism as we advance through the tech tree. Very nice. The boost for political philosophy has been found, all thanks to Samarkand. It's a nice trading city-state that gives us the Trading Dome unique improvement. Don't know if we're going to find a huge amount of use for this game, but it is an option if we do need more gold. Found Crater Lake, that's +4 faith and +1 science. And we also discovered Hercules. However, Hercules isn't a hero that I particularly want, but I will take the discovery of the Hermetic Order because that's pretty helpful. I'll probably want to settle this at some point. It's just a nice little natural wonder. It'll get me a bit of era score. And getting era score really early game is actually one of my priorities. It's why I'm building so many scouts. I want to find as many tribal villages as possible to be able to get a monumentality golden age early enough to where I can purchase settlers just continuously. Now, what I would give for access to the Void Singers. Oh, yes! Thank you so much. That gives me access to the Void Singers. Now, the Void Singers are incredible because their second ability allows you to convert 20% of your faith into gold, science, and culture. Menelik already converts his faith into culture and science, so being able to double dip into the Void Singers is just beautiful. Even if, in my opinion, double dippers who dip their chips into the sauce twice go to the 7th circle of hell. Found Anshan as well. They're less useful. They give you a little bit of science from your great works, which we're probably not going to have a lot of great works this game. Another tribal village, +1 envoy. I already have an envoy with all the city-states that I found because I found them first, so we'll just hold on to that one. Hey, there's Nazca. Nazca gives you the ability to build the Nazca Line unique improvement, which basically turns desert into real livable terrain. Now we get to pick our pantheon, and of course we're going to be going for the Earth Goddess pantheon. And that's for two main reasons. First of all, I really like getting faith from my tiles, especially as Ethiopia, where we convert faith into science and culture. But also because the rock-hewn church that we're going to be building everywhere actually gives +1 appeal to adjacent tiles. So pretty much my entire empire is just going to be covered in the bonus faith from that pantheon. We've completed the first world circumnavigation, which gave us +5 era score. I just need one more era score to get the golden age. And I have a strong enough faith income once I have rock-hewn churches to be able to mass purchase settlers. So that's my real hope here, is if I can get the really, really fast golden age and just mass purchase settlers, then we're going to be in really good shape. And actually, it looks like there might be a El Dorado or whatever it's called. I can't remember the name of the world wonder, or natural wonder rather. I really need to find Himiko, because Himiko is pretty much my only way to ever get suzerainty of these city-states. And indeed, it is Paiti. That means we have enough era score to be able to get our golden age. That is a huge deal. We also found a Nancy, and Nancy was not the hero that I wanted to find. I'll take a Nancy. I'll probably take a Nancy this game to be able to get rid of extra luxuries that I don't need so I can fit more improvements on my tiles. But I really, really, really need to find Himiko. And the game is just, the RNG in this game is just, is so balanced that it's actually acting as like a balancing force, preventing me from actually breaking the game by doing my imbalanced strategy that is like required by Himiko. Oh, actually, Gaul already owns a Nancy. Well, that's fine by me. We have now finished drama and poetry, so we can actually build our rock-hewn churches if we want. But more importantly, we have our golden age dedication, and I'm going to be taking monumentality to be able to faith purchase settlers. Just look at that, it's 150 faith for another settler. That's insane at this phase of the game. Look at that rock-hewn church. +7 faith. Oh my god. How'd I get era score? Look, this is absolute. This is just balance. This is just absolutely balanced. This, if there was a screenshot that described the balance of Civilization 6, this is the screen. Okay, this is starting to be a joke. I have literally discovered every single hero except for Himiko, and she's the only one I wanted. Do you know how much faster I could have won this game if I haven't run like my 8th heroic tale and then had to chop it out? Which those chops could be going towards more settlers so I could settle more cities and get even further ahead. But no, I have to do these dumb heroic tales because the game just won't give me Himiko. Give me my waifu, Himiko. It's all I want from the world. Oh yeah, what is this nonsense? Can I play RNG, please? Please give me Himiko. At this rate, it is literally going to be the very last possible hero that I discover. Wait, how did I discover Oya twice? Hang on, that makes no sense. What? All right, this should be the last one, right? This should be the last one that I ever need to do. Guys, I was challenged to do this in 150 turns. I can't do that if you won't give me Himiko. Oh, thank Christ we have Himiko. But the problem is now, here's the big problem. I had planned to use these chops to get Himiko faster, but now I've burnt all my chops on not getting Himiko. Remember when I said the +7 rock-hewn church was balanced? How about a +8 rock-hewn church? Yes, indeed, I am getting 8 faith from a single tile. Now, of all the hot single city-states in my local area, I have to say Rapa Nui and La Venta both appeal to me the most. The problem with La Venta is that it's all the way over here and it's likely to get killed by the AI. So I'm going to make friends with Rapa Nui. That'll give me a unique improvement that I'll be able to place on my flatland tiles. Since of course naturally rock-hewn churches have to be placed on hills. Thanks to Himiko, I'm now suzerain of Rapa Nui, which gives me a little bit of era score. I think that's one of my major goals here. If I can chain together a back-to-back golden age, I will be in such a powerful position because I'm able to purchase settlers for pretty damn cheap. 150 faith is a pretty damn good price for settlers. Now, of course, every time you purchase a settler, the price goes up a little bit, about 45 faith each, but that shouldn't be too much of a problem. Considering we're making 27 faith per turn and it's only turn 54, I think we're doing okay. I'm also going to levy Rapa Nui's troops because I believe that will also give me +1 era score, plus a bunch of units I can use to clear out barbarians. Once I do these last 3 harvests of the forest, the deer, and the forest in my capital, then I'll be able to put Pengala into my capital to get that extra little bit of science and culture. Of all the governments in here, I think autocracy is the best one. The 10% production towards wonders is wasted, but the +1 to all yields in the capital is super helpful. But is that worth giving up the ability to plug in all those economic policy cards? And I really don't think they are. Charismatic leader is going to be extremely important this game, because it's pretty much the only way we have to get extra envoys. We've got our 4th and 5th city about to be settled right here. Lalabella is a great spot as well because there's so many hills and lots of chops here too. Let's immediately assign Magnus to Lalabella, and we'll be using this to chop out maybe even more settlers or something like that. There's a very annoying little archer here standing on one of my nice tiles shooting my poor warrior as he tries to escort my settler. Like, go away, why are you here? I'm going to settle a city on the tundra because I believe if you settle on a new type of terrain, you get +1 era score, and in fact I did. I'm also going to get some era score for settling right by Crater Lake. I'm really chasing that golden age. I don't think I've ever had this much of the world scouted ever before in one of my games this early into the game. It really goes to show what you can achieve with going for 4 scouts first. It's too bad that 4 scouts just really leaves you too vulnerable to the AI to attack you. If we were playing on any sort of more cramped of a map, aside from Highlands, this would have been a really tough map to defend ourselves on with a 4 scout opener. But we are playing on Highlands and we're playing as Ethiopia, so we have absolutely no worries at all. It's turn 79, and we are making 84 faith per turn. We're officially making more faith per turn than there are turns in the game currently, and that's always a really nice milestone. Damn, I'm only 10 era score away from a golden age, but I'm 7 turns away from the medieval era. This is really gonna suck if I can't pull that off. I mean, we'll probably still be able to win, but it might just be that little bit harder. Oh, you know what I could do? I could do a sneaky settler purchase up here. Oh no, I already bought a settler down here. I spent all my faith. I could have done a sneaky settler purchase, get +1 era score for settling on the snow. I might have enough time to still do that. It'll take me 3 turns to earn the settler, and then it'll take me too long to walk. I might be able to do it. I might be able to get that +1 era score. 9 era score. That's all we need. Why do all of my games come down to the wire like this? Like, whether or not I'll be able to do incredibly well is always such a close thing. All right, we picked up Sun Wukong for another +1 era score. He'll be dead handy to clear out some of these barb camps as well. Speaking of which, are there any barb camps near my empire? No, unfortunately not. So I won't be able to pick up era score from killing barb camps. I've come up with a plan to try to get enough era score. First of all, I'm going to chop a horse out. That'll give me +1 era score. I believe I'll get 2 era score for settling on a new continent over here. And I believe you also get a little bit of era score if you settle near an AI player. So that'll be like 3, maybe 2 or 3 era score here. I'll get another era score for settling on the snow. And then some era score for doing the galley thing. I'm just really hoping that it's enough. I honestly, I have no idea if I'm going to be able to pull this off. I've sat here and racked my brain. I reloaded a couple of turns and tried a different experiment. Like, could I do this order? But I just actually don't know if I'm going to be able to pull off the second golden age. Hopefully improving horses gives era score for getting your first strategic online, and it looks like it didn't. All right, we got 2 era score from building a galley, 1 from building from unlocking feudalism. Please God, let this be enough era score. I'm going to settle this city here. I get +1 for settling on the snow, and then this city should, in theory, be +3 era score. Yes! Oh my God! I was never in doubt, ladies and gentlemen. I knew I was going to get enough era score. I was 100% certain I was going to get enough era score for another golden age. Who doubted me, honestly? I mean, we did secure the golden age, but now we have a completely useless galley sitting inside a lake. I do feel like that having a galley sitting inside a lake uselessly is like the hallmark of being an AI player. Medieval golden age? Why, it's got to be monumentality. This is where things get insanely broken. When I promote the Void Singers with Chorus, all of my yields are going to explode up here. Currently, I'm making about 30 science per turn, about 45 culture, and 10 gold per turn. Now I'm making 55 science, 70 culture, and 34 gold per turn. God damn, is that powerful. Himiko is dead, so I get a little bit more era score. I don't know, though, if I'll be able to manage to get another golden age, because I need nearly 40 era score to hit my next golden age. I think I'll just have to make do with what I can this era. Of course the AI has lost the settler to the barbarians. Well, I'm going to try and grab that for myself. Time to recall Himiko, which will net me a little bit of era score, but more importantly, I can pick another city-state that I'd like to have suzerainty of. Granada might be a really good choice here because they'll provide me with the Alcazar that gives +2 culture as well as 50% of the tiles appeal as science. They also give you tourism after researching flight, so those could be handy to have, but I only need to put one envoy in there and I've got control of them. I also grabbed Mohenjo-Daro because I want that full housing from water. A lot of my cities have been settled off of fresh water, which kind of sucks. Let's place an Alcazar. Look how delicious that tile is. 2 food, 1 production, 2 science, 2 culture, and 2 faith. All thanks to its extremely high appeal. Science is super important for us because we don't really have a way to get science except from faith and improvements. We are beelining flight, but it's still 11 techs away. And the person who set me this challenge wanted me to do it before turn 150. Now, because I had really bad early game RNG with Himiko, I probably won't be able to do that, but I'm still going to try my best. We're up to turn 101 and we've got 10 cities out on the board and we're making nearly 200 faith per turn. I'm feeling like this is going to go really, really well for us. Culturally, we haven't really earned that much tourism against people, but on the plus side as well, most people haven't earned that many tourists, except for Gaul. Gaul has a ridiculous amount of tourists compared to everyone else. Let's use Himiko to grab suzerainty of Nazca. Nazca is going to be amazing because if I can slap down a few of those Nazca lines on some of these flat desert that I have, I'll get massive boosts to my faith and production. If you thought we were running an overpowered build, just wait until we plug in theocracy. Right now, settlers cost us about 600 faith to recruit, and builders are about 190 faith to recruit. Now settlers have gone all the way back down to 480 faith and builders are only 150 faith. Our empire is about to explode in terms of the number of cities that it has. I think we're already up to 12 cities and we have 2 more settlers going. And I'm about to recruit another 2 or 3 up here in the north as well. This is definitely the weirdest city I've ever built. There's not a single production tile in sight and it's entirely made out of unique improvements. 3 rock-hewn churches and 3 alcazars. But I mean, look at the city's yields. 31 faith, 18 culture, and 17 science. This actually seems pretty reasonable. I didn't have to build any districts to get these sorts of yields. It's kind of crazy. I really need to start giving more respect to unique improvements. Ooh, we're just about to hit 200 faith per turn. It's turn 112, and I'm pretty much only spamming builders across my empire. It's kind of insane because I'm almost tech leader as well. I am culture leader, but the fact that I have basically 0 things producing science aside from unique improvements and my innate abilities with the Void Singers, I've never been tech lead this early into the game. Even in a normal game where I'm going for science, it usually takes me another 30 or 40 turns. Now we just need to grab Liang for that +1 build charge on our builders. I'll slap her down in Gondor. It's a pretty central city and I'll be able to get builders all out my empire from that city. Just look at this city of Almata. It's only a few turns old, but it's already making 21 faith per turn, 13 culture per turn, 10 science per turn, and 6.1 gold per turn. That is just insane. And I'm not even finished developing this city because I'm gonna throw down things like quarries, as well as a horse pasture in here. Also, I have 1,000 faith in the bank. I think I forgot to purchase a couple of settlers, so let's get to work on that right now. I mean, that's the thing. I'm not even doing this incredibly efficiently, and I'm still doing incredibly well. Pop down another city on the dice. I'll need a builder over here. I may as well go ahead and... Oh, I can faith purchase old god obelisks. Thanks to Valletta. I think I'm going to prioritize purchasing builders and settlers though. But that's crazy. I completely forgot that Valletta was in this game for a minute. This is basically my only way to get another trade route is through World Congress resolutions. So I'm going to want to invest a lot of points into this because if you have a trade route with another player, you get a 25% tourism boost against them. I think it would be nice to also have the 100% production towards buildings in the city centre, considering that's the only place I can build buildings. We managed to win both of our resolutions, which makes me very happy. I'm still not completely sold on whether or not this is the most overpowered way to play, but it is incredibly fun and I 100% recommend you guys give this a go in one of your own games. There's currently 34 rock-hewn churches all throughout my empire. I'm wondering just how high we'll be able to get that number by the end of the game. I'm really surprised that we already have 4 tourists. Considering the only tourism we're getting is coming from this one heroic relic that we got from Himiko, maybe it would have been good if I had grabbed a couple of extra heroes. While I would like the city-state emergency to pass, I'm not going to vote it up because that means I'll be at war with the Gauls, so I won't be able to generate as much tourism against them. Because you can't get open borders with someone you're at war with, so avoid war at all cost when you're doing this. Now, we did enter into the Renaissance era, and it is a Dark Age, so things are going to be tough for the next few turns. It's turn 127 out of 500, and we are just 5 techs away from picking up flight. I really do believe, had I not got screwed on Himiko RNG, we would already have flight or be much closer to it, but we just need to get a little bit more tech. And I don't really have a huge amount of ways to actually increase my science per turn. This is going to be I think it's our second last city, or maybe third last. It depends on how many settlers. I would like to actually use this city over here with Magnus and chop out a ton of settlers. There's a lot of chops available in the local area, and we have plenty of gold that we can use to do that. At long last, Wukong has actually died, which is going to give me another great work. Now, technically, these kind of count as great works. I should probably trade them away, but I think they're within a reasonable scope of what could be expected for me to keep when we're doing the improvement only challenge, considering heroes are actually pretty central to my strategy. Since we are in a new era, though, I will be grabbing back Himiko, so I can get even more city-state envoys. Finally, I got a trade route with Germany. That's going to give me a slight boost to my tourism per turn. Look at the Moai statues. Every single point of culture here is going to be able to generate me tourism. And you might think, oh look, that's like a little bit of tourism. There's a good bit over here. But then you look at like a chain of Moai statues like here, and this is like 20 to 30 tourism alone just from this little section of land. It really is, it's really ridiculously powerful just how much tourism you can get from those unique improvements. I'm a little bit surprised that this strategy works at all. It was not one that ever entered my mind that you could literally win a culture victory without building a single important piece of things that I would normally consider essential for a culture victory, like wonders, like theater squares, archaeological museums, naturalists, rock bands. All these things I would have considered core to winning a culture victory. But nope, I'm just churning along, about 11 turns from picking up flight, which will just start absolutely pumping tourism out the gate. I finally got my hands on that little settler that was hiding up here in the fog of war. I reckon that's one of Germany's settlers that they've lost to the barbarians. Because Germany's empire is looking really, really small. Because usually a DD AI will expand a lot more than that. I mean, if you take Gaul, for example, just look how many cities they have in comparison to Germany. I think this might just be the perfect rock-hewn church. A full 9 faith per turn. We have access to conservation, which now means we get tourism from our walls. We went from a measly 10 tourism per turn up to 67 tourism per turn. Our tourism per turn has septupled with the research of one little civic. I really do feel like conservation is one of my favorite civics in the game. I don't know, just the ability to be able to plant forests, you get tourism from walls and stuff like that. I don't know, it just feels like a really, really, really nice civic. Himiko's out here doing work for me again, grabbing me suzerainty of Leventa. Leventa, like I said earlier, lets us build a colossal head, and that's going to be an extra handy way to get a little bit of extra tourism and faith, mostly in places that have a lot of forest, although I have been actively chopping out as much forest as I can to be able to fit as many of these moais in as possible. Here, look, I'll show you what the colossal head looks like. There it is. Plus 4 faith, and that'll be converted into tourism very soon. 'Twas the night before Flightmas, when all throughout the empire, not a tourist was stirring, not even a Gaul. The improvements were hung by the cities with care, in the hopes that St. Tourism would soon be there. That's right, it is 1 turn away until we get flight. Now, we're making 74 tourism per turn. What I want you to do is pause the video right here and make a bet. Bet me how much you think that this number is going to increase. Do you think it's going to go up to like 500 to 1,000? Is it only going to go up to like 200? I have no idea, but I am super psyched to see just how... Can we not like ruin the moment of reveal by like giving me diplomatic deals here? Oh, look at that! Yes! 527 tourism per turn on turn 158. That's right, it's 820 AD and we just discovered the secrets of flight. Oh, look at it. It's glorious. Look at how much tourism we are cranking out of all of these cities. We've already got 8 out of 105 tourists required. And since the turn just rolled over, we're now at 11 out of 105 tourists required. Now, the game thinks I'll win in about 48 turns, but I think we can bring that number down considerably. First of all, we'll research Renaissance walls. Then, once we have Renaissance walls, we'll use Valletta's Faith Purchasing in City Centers ability to go through every single city in our empire and purchase Renaissance walls instantly. Since Renaissance walls give us 3 tourism per turn, as we've already researched the Conservation Civic, since we have 21 cities, that's an extra 63 tourism per turn. Not bad if you ask me, considering each wall only costs about 210
faith
each. After doing that, we already boosted our way up to 618 tourism per turn. The city of Jimma alone is currently making me 71 tourism per turn. That's right, I went in and counted each of these tiles individually just to see how much I'm getting out of it. This is more than 10% of the entire tourism of my empire. That's also why I'm spamming out builders, and have been spamming out builders pretty much since turn 1 of the game. Every single city is either building a builder or has been building a builder for the last long ass amount of time. It's turn 160 and we've got 30 out of 118 tourists, and it reckons we'll win in about 26 turns, but at the rate that my tourism is increasing, I think we can do it a lot faster than that. I really do wonder what it would be like to live inside a deforested hellscape like Ethiopia. Not the real life Ethiopia. I don't know if that's true about that, but I mean, like the kind of empire that I've created here. Like, what is really attracting people to come visit this empire? It's just like endless plains of these weird stone statues that have cute little hats on them. Actually, if you zoom in real close, I don't know. Like, if I was planning a holiday, I don't know if this empire would be very high on my list of desirable destinations. I wonder what a Civilization 6 travel guide would look like. In some of my games, it would be like, hey, come visit Mongolia. It's a nuclear wasteland from the invasion from India. Or when I'm like recruiting partisans in Japan, it would be, you know, oh, travel warning for Japan. There's barbarian riflemen all over the place. I don't know, I feel like there would be some hilarious travel guides if you were to try to write one. That would be hilarious. I want someone to like go through one of my old save files or one of my old games and then just write a travel guide for all the empires. And it's like a travel guide for like the most horrific aspects of each of the empires. It's like the Macedonian Empire has only one thing: military bases and military training. If you're a fan of military history or the military, it's probably a good place to visit. Otherwise, you probably avoid. Well, it just rolled over to 1100 AD, but we've got 68 out of 167 tourists with 14 turns remaining. If I give it a quick refresh, it says 72 out of 127 with 19 turns remaining. We are super close, and this is actually going to be one of my fastest tourism victories ever since they removed the fast tourism victory with Sweden. I thought this would be a little bit of a meme, but I really am surprised just how effective this strategy is. Dare I say, ladies and gentlemen, that it's perfectly balanced. Ooh, we're so close to crossing the 800 tourism threshold. Ah, there it is. There it is. Turn 173. And I'm making 806 tourism per turn. Game reckons there's 15 turns left. I think we'll go a little bit faster than that. Only 6 turns until we get that victory, which means we should win around turn 164. I'm still doing everything that I can to get more builders, as well as much tourism as possible from every single tile inside my empire. I mean, just look. Nearly every tile inside the core of my empire has generated a tourist. Also, is there anything more satisfying than building like a few Nazca lines all together and then just looking at the yields of the tiles? And then remembering that you actually can't work Nazca lines and feeling sad. It doesn't, but that's not the important bit. The important bit is that moment of hope that you see right before it's crushed. Oh, it says we're 2 turns away from winning. Oh, I think this is it, guys. Turn 183. Is that honestly my fastest tourism win since the New Frontier Pass has come out? I really think it is. I honestly can't think of a single other time that I've been able to beat the game this quickly, which is absurd because this is a meme strategy. It shouldn't be this good. It really, really shouldn't. It doesn't make sense that this strategy is so good. I thought it was just going to be like, look, you can win the game and it's a cute little strategy. But this is actually a viable build on a map like this where you have room like this and you can get that double golden age. Honestly, if you got a triple golden age, it would be even more insane. I think the big place where I let myself down though is for going for these moais instead of the colossal heads. Because the colossal heads would have given me even more tiles to work for faith, and I would have unlocked flight even sooner. So if I was doing this again, 100% go the colossal head route. And there it is, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very, very much. I had an incredible time playing and recording that game. I just want to point out, districts constructed, 0. I did not build a single district that game. I didn't get a single great person that game. I only used heroes. I got no great works aside from the ones that you get from heroes. And it just goes to show you that the improvement only challenge is not only viable, but it's probably overpowered. Thank you all very, very much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I love you all very much, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye!